The hail came down the size of golf balls and lasted 4 minutes. You walked outside after and saw it. Every panel of your standing seam metal roof was dimpled like a thumb had pressed it. The gutters were pocked. The siding looked beaten. You called it in, certain this was what insurance was for. The adjuster climbed up, ran his hand across the dents, and agreed they were real. Then he told you the policy owed you nothing. The roof was not leaking. The damage was only cosmetic. You read the word he pointed to, and you had never seen it before. Cosmetic damage exclusion. It is an endorsement, an add-on to the policy, and its logic is brutally simple. If hail dents your metal roof, gutters, or siding but does not cause a leak, the insurer pays nothing. The function of the metal is intact, the reasoning goes, so the damage is purely appearance. A dent that does not yet leak is, by definition, your problem. The storm did the harm, the endorsement decided who eats it. Here is what makes it sting. A metal roof is not cheap. Replacing one runs $20,000 to $40,000, depending on the size and the metal. That is the single most expensive surface on your house. And the cosmetic endorsement takes that entire number, the full cost of a hail-dented roof, and shifts it onto you. You paid premiums for years believing a roof was covered. The endorsement quietly carved the most expensive failure mode out of the policy and handed it back. This is not an old trap. It is a recent one, and you can almost date it. After 2015, as hail claims and metal roof popularity both climbed, insurers and hail-prone states moved fast to add these endorsements. Texas. Colorado, the Midwest hail belt. Carrier after carrier slipped a cosmetic damage exclusion into renewals, sometimes with a small premium discount attached, so the change felt like a deal rather than a cut. By the time the next big storm came, whole neighborhoods were quietly self-insuring their own dents. The hardest part is that almost nobody knew. The endorsement does not arrive with a warning letter. It shows up as a code on the declarations page, the single sheet that lists your coverages buried among numbers most people never read. A line that might say, cosmetic loss excluded or hail to metal surfaces limited. You signed the renewal. You paid the premium. You never once understood that the protection on your roof had just been narrowed to the moment water actually comes through. Appearance, dents, function still intact, none of that counts anymore. From the insurer's side, the math is cold and rational. Hail to metal surfaces is the fastest growing claim category in storm country. A single severe hailstorm can trigger thousands of metal roof claims in one afternoon, each one tens of thousands of dollars. By excluding the cosmetic portion, an insurer keeps writing policies in a region it might otherwise abandon, while collecting premiums that still feel like full coverage to the customer. State regulators approve these endorsements for exactly that reason. The unspoken trade is that your roof's appearance is now uninsurable. Here is the cruel arithmetic of cosmetic. The word implies harmless, but metal that is dented and stressed does not stay harmless. Coatings crack at the dent. The protective finish fails. Rust begins, slowly, in the low spots where water sits. So the damage the insurer called cosmetic on the day of the storm becomes structural. 3 or 4 years later, when the panels start to corrode and leak, by then it is a new claim, with a new fight about whether the cause was old hail or simple aging. Your neighbor, hit by the same storm, walked away whole. One difference, her renewal never carried the cosmetic endorsement because her carrier had not added it yet in her area. Same hail, same dents, same metal roof. She filed. The adjuster measured the impacts, and her policy paid for a full replacement minus her deductible. 2 identical roofs, 2 identical storms, 2 outcomes that diverged on a single line item neither of you had read. The difference was not the damage, it was the endorsement. So what do you check today before any storm? Pull your declarations page and your endorsement list and hunt for 3 phrases. Cosmetic damage exclusion, cosmetic loss, and hail or wind limited to functional damage. If any of them appear, your metal roof, gutters, and siding are only covered when they actually fail, not when they are dented. That is a different policy than the one most people think they bought, and you want to know which one you hold before you are standing under it. Second, ask your agent in writing whether you can buy back full cosmetic coverage and what it costs. In many states, it is available for a modest premium, and on a metal roof, it is usually worth it. Get the answer in writing, because what an agent says on the phone and what the file shows are not always the same. And if a metal roof claim is denied as cosmetic after a storm, a licensed public adjuster works for you, not the insurer, and can challenge whether the damage is truly only skin deep. He never bought the coverage back, and 4 years later, the dented panels began to rust through. The roof he was told was fine. The day of the storm failed slowly, on his own dime, exactly as the metal predicted it would. The hail did 4 minutes of damage. A single word, Cosmetic, did the rest, quietly, over years, in a clause he had never opened. Insurance is supposed to make you whole. The fine print decides which damage counts as real. Read the word before the sky tests it. If this one stayed with you, the episode on the roof depreciation schedule goes further down the same road. It shows how a 12-year-old roof gets valued down to pennies, even when it is fully covered, through a table you never opened. It is on this channel.